Today is Thursday, Parashat Yitro. We're learning Chok Israel, and we're going to explain the Ketubim today for Chok Israel. This is from the book of Mishlei, the book of Proverbs. Ozen shoma'at tochachat hayim bekerev hachamim talim. So it says here, the ear that listens to reproof dwells among the wise. In other words, when a person is willing to listen to the advice of others, is willing to listen to others when they give him constructive criticism, such a person is a wise person. Like it says also in Pirkei Avot, Ezeu hacham halomed mikol adam. Who's the person who's wise? Is a person who's willing to learn from every other person. There's always what to learn from others, and especially if somebody reproves you and shows you that what you're doing needs to be corrected, and you're willing to listen to it, that's a proof of a wise person. Now we see this also in the parasha of this week, when Moshe Rabbeinu hears the advice of Yitro to delegate responsibility and appoint lower courts, so that not everything comes to Moshe Rabbeinu, every little case to be adjudicated. So this pasuk teaches us the importance of being willing to listen to the advice and to reproach that others may correct what you're doing, and that would be a sign of wisdom. Next pasuk, Poreya musar mo'es nafsho veshomea tochachat konelev. So this pasuk means a person who refuses discipline, he despises his soul. In other words, there is great benefit from being disciplined. But a person who's shomea tochachat, who's willing to hear rebuke, such a person, konelev, he will acquire heart, which means he will acquire understanding. So if you're willing to hear rebuke and what other people will tell you, then in such a case, you will also acquire understanding. And like it says in another place, u'tshu'a berov yo'etz, the more you consult, the more you can have salvation. Many times you're trying to solve a problem, and by speaking to various people, they might give you each another perspective, and by combining all the various perspectives, you can find the solution to that problem. Next pasuk, Yirat Adonai musar chokhmah velifnei chavod anava. This pasuk means the fear of Hashem. Musar chokhmah is the discipline of wisdom. In other words, that through the idea of Musar and Chokhmah, then you come to have Yirat Hashem, to be God-fearing. And humility is before honor. In other words, the more a person is humble, the more he will gain the honor and respect of others. Like it says in Pirkei Avot, Ezeu mechubad mechabed et habiriot. Who's a person who's mechubad, who's honored, is a person who honors others. Next pasuk, le'adam ma'ar chelev u'me'adonai ma'an elashon. The thoughts of the heart are from the person, but the response of the tongue is from Hashem. Many times a person wants to say a certain thing and he has in mind how to say it, and it doesn't come out exactly like he planned. So even though you have all sorts of thoughts sometimes, ultimately is what Hashem makes it, allows it to happen the way that it does. And we say this pasuk just before the Chazara of the Shaliach Tzibur on the high holidays. On Kippur, before we say the Shaliach Tzibur starts, Hashem Sfatay Tiftah. He starts with the Adam Me'ar Chelev U'Me'adonai Ma'an Elashon, to pray that Hashem would help us to say the things correctly in the Amidah of that prayer, and assistance from Hashem in saying the words properly is the right thing. And sometimes a person might have something in mind to say and it comes out differently. Hashem made it happen that way. Another pasuk, and that will be the final for today in this portion of Mishlei. Kol darchei ish zach be'enav v'tochen ruchot Adonai. The pasuk here is, all the ways of a man are pure in his own eyes. When a person does certain things, it always will justify his actions to say that what he's doing is the best thing. This is very pure and proper, because people are subjectively justifying their actions. However, Tochen Ruhot Hashem, but Hashem is the one who counts, who examines the hearts and also the actions to know which is good and which is bad. Even though in the eyes of a certain person his action is proper and perfect, actually it may be totally a wrong thing to do. Hashem knows what is right and wrong, but in the eyes of a person, typically, everyone thinks that what he's doing is the right thing to do. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen.